So hello everyone, here in this video we are going to watch OpenAI DevDay 2025. Here they are going to announce some cool thing, some more features on ChatGPT that they are providing. I think it will be for ChatGPT 5, which is not free, so let's watch it. I hope you are hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to DevDay. Thanks for being here in San Francisco, the city where we started and where we are committed to building the future of AI. It's been almost 2 years since our first DevDay. We, but most importantly, all of you, have come a long way since then. Back in 2023, we had 2 million weekly developers and 100 million weekly ChatGPT users. We were processing about 300 million tokens per minute on our API. And that felt like a lot to us, at least at the time. Today, 4 million developers have built with OpenAI. More than 800 people use ChatGPT every week, and we process over 6 billion tokens per minute on the API. Thanks all of you. AI has gone from something people play with to something people build with every day. Before we get started with all today's announcements, we want to do something fun. On the screen behind me are the names of the developers in the room who have built apps on our platforms that have crossed some big milestones. 10 billion tokens processed, 100 billion, even 1 trillion. Let's give them a round of applause. On behalf of all of us at OpenAI, thank you for doing such incredible work. You are the ones pushing the future forward, and seeing what you've already done makes us so excited about what comes next. While it's exciting to celebrate how far you all have come, we are still so early on this journey. So today we're going to focus on what matters most to you all, which is making it easier to build with AI. We've been listening to developers, hearing where you get stuck, what you want us to build next so that you can build more things. We've got 4 things for you today. We're going to show you how we're making it possible to build apps inside of ChatGPT, and how we can help you get a lot of distribution. We're going to show you how building agents is going to be much faster and better. You'll see how we're making it easier to write software, taking on the repetitive parts of coding so you can focus on systems and creativity. And underneath all of this, we'll give you updates to models and APIs to support everything you want to build. We think this is the best time in history to be a builder. It has never been faster to go from idea to product. You can really feel the acceleration.
So there are the 4 things that are going to show us. सबसे पहले चीज़ तो सॉफ्टवेयर कैसे अंदर आप चैट जीपीटी के अंदर ही सॉफ्टवेयर कैसे बिल्ड कर सकते हैं, ऐप कैसे बना सकते हैं, एजेंट कैसे बिल्ड कर सकते हैं, और जो चौथा चीज़ है कि एपीआई में क्या अपडेट हो रहा है, वो सारी चीज़ें.
So to get started, let's take a look at apps inside of ChatGPT. We want ChatGPT to be a great way for people to make progress, to be more productive, more inventive, to learn faster, to do whatever they're trying to do in their lives better. We have been continuously amazed by the creative ways that people use it. Since our first DevDay, we've been working to try to figure out how to open up ChatGPT to developers. And we tried things like GPTs, we've adopted standards like MCPs, and we made it possible for developers to connect ChatGPT to more and more applications. Some of the stuff has worked, some of it hasn't, but we've learned a lot along the way. And today we're going to open up ChatGPT for developers to build real apps inside of ChatGPT. This will enable a new generation of apps that are interactive, adaptive, and personalized that you can chat with. So to build them, today we're launching the Apps SDK, which will be available in preview starting today. With the Apps SDK, you get the full stack. You can connect your data, trigger actions, render a fully interactive UI, and more. The Apps SDK is built on MCP. You get full control over your backend logic and front-end UI. We published this.
MCP is model context protocol, so it is basically helps AI agent to get access of others tools, right? So I have understood it in a similar way like the API works. Like the API basically connects, or basically a middleman between front end and back end. So MCP server, what it does, as I'm telling you, that if there is an AI agent and if there is a tool, so MCP server basically acts as a middleman between them.
Standard so that anyone can integrate the Apps SDK. When you build with the Apps SDK, your apps can reach hundreds of millions of ChatGPT users. We hope this will be a big deal for helping developers rapidly scale products. Thank you. You're welcome. If a user is already subscribed to your existing product, they'll be able to log in right from the conversation. And in the future, we're going to support many ways to monetize, including the new agentic commerce protocol that offers instant checkout right inside of ChatGPT. So let's take a look at a few examples. When someone's using ChatGPT, you'll be able to find an app by asking for it by name. For example, you can sketch out a product flow for ChatGPT and then say Figma, turn the sketch into a workable diagram. The Figma app will take over, respond, and complete the action. You can also then launch FigJam from ChatGPT if you want to iterate further. We're also making apps discoverable right in the conversation. So when a user asks for something, we can surface a relevant app as a recommendation. Maybe a user says they need a playlist for their party this weekend. ChatGPT could then recommend building it in Spotify. It's an easy way to find the right app or have the right app presented to you at the right time. And there'll be a whole bunch of new ways for developers to get discovered. So now, rather than just talk about this, I'd like to invite Alexi to the stage, and we'll show you a live demo.
Hi, I'm Alexi, a software engineer on ChatGPT working on Apps SDK. I'm super excited to showcase some of the first apps users will be able to interact with today. The magic of these apps is combining their rich interactive visuals with the power of ChatGPT.
Look,
Let's start with...
I watched it, so I'm just summarizing whatever the demo he is going to provide. So the new feature is that you can talk to chat, you can talk to apps like the Spotify app that Sam shows on that thing ना, कि इन्होंने क्या किया कि इन्होंने बोला कि मेरे को प्लेलिस्ट चाहिए टॉप 10 सॉन्ग्स की जो मैं सुनता हूँ, लेकिन वो पता कैसे चलेगा आप कौन से सॉन्ग सुनते हो। तो उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने बोला कि देखो मैं स्पॉटिफाई यूज़ करता हूँ और आपको स्पॉटिफाई को पता है कि मैं कौन कौन से सॉन्ग यूज़ करता हूँ, तो वो कहेगा कि चैट जीपीटी क्रिएट द प्लेलिस्ट ऑफ द सॉन्ग विच आई हैव यूज्ड इन स्पॉटिफाई। तो चैट जीपीटी पे स्पॉटिफाई से बात करेगा, बोलेगा कि ये 10 सबसे ज़्यादा सॉन्ग कौन से यूज़ करते हैं, चैट स्पॉटिफाई को डेटा दे देगा और चैट जीपीटी वो फिर बना देगा। सो दैट्स एन कूल वे, लाइक वी कैन टॉक टू एप्स, सो दैट्स कूल। सो जस्ट इन्हें फॉरवर्ड कर देते हैं और नेक्स्ट वाले इसमें चलते हैं। जैसे कि कोर्सेरा वगैरह से बता रहे कि कोर्सेरा से, अच्छा ये कोर्सेरा से बता रहे तो क्या है, ये ऐसा वीडियो है, ये एक बार कोर्सेरा वाले देख लेते हैं, कोर्सेरा वाला क्या है।
You'll notice I asked ChatGPT for the Coursera app directly, but ChatGPT can learn more. I can ask the Coursera app in ChatGPT to help me learn more about it. Hi, I'm Alexi, a software engineer on ChatGPT working on Apps SDK. I'm super excited to showcase some of the first apps users will be able to interact with today. The magic of these apps is combining their rich interactive visuals with the power of ChatGPT. Let's start with Coursera. Let's say I don't spend enough time thinking about machine learning at work and I want to learn more. I can ask the Coursera app in ChatGPT to help me learn more about this. I can say, Coursera, can you teach me something about machine learning? Since this is my first time using Coursera in ChatGPT, I'll need to consent to connect. The next time I use it, I'll be able to dive in immediately. You'll notice I asked ChatGPT for the Coursera app directly, but ChatGPT can also suggest apps if relevant to the conversation. Apps in ChatGPT by default are displayed inline and can support anything that you can render on the web, like this video shown here. Apps SDK also supports picture-in-picture or expanding to a full screen layout. So now that I have my course up, let's play the video. Playing the video immediately pins it to the top of my screen, which is really helpful for something like Coursera because you can access your conversation while watching the video. Let's skip ahead a little bit and say I want to go a little bit deeper on something mentioned in the video. I can ask ChatGPT, can you explain more about what they're saying right now? Apps SDK provides an API to expose context back to ChatGPT from your app, ensuring that the model always knows about exactly what your user is interacting with. We're calling it talking to apps, and it's really part of the magic here. I'm super excited about how learning with ChatGPT, one of our top use cases, is continuing to get better. And with apps in the Apps SDK, you can unlock richer educational experiences for users around the world. So here ChatGPT responded and explained that the structure is talking about data preparation steps before training.
Look, here what is happening कि जैसे आपने कोर्सेरा से पूछा कि ये वीडियो में क्या एक्सप्लेन कर दो, तो देखो मेरे हिसाब से तो ऐसा तो नहीं है कि वो फ्रेम बाय फ्रेम वीडियोस को देखता होगा, साउंड को सुनता होगा चैट जीपीटी और फिर चीज़ें बताता होगा कि इस वीडियो के अंदर क्या है। वो बेसिकली क्या करते हैं, ट्रांसक्रिप्ट आपको अगर दिख रही है यहाँ पे, जैसे कि दिस कोफिशिएंट टेल्स अस हाउ ईच फीचर अफेक्ट द प्रेडिक्शन, तो व्हाट दे डू, दे पिक अप दैट ट्रांसक्रिप्ट एंड समराइज दैट। तो वो बिना ट्रांसक्रिप्ट के नहीं हो पाएगा, मतलब उनके पास वो कैपेबिलिटी नहीं है कि वो वीडियो देख पाए या फिर वो सारी चीज़ें समझ पाए। ओके, so one of the thing is Coursera ki, but this feature, like the Coursera particular thing, we have the notebook LM, we used it a lot, right? Just we copy and paste the link and put it at notebook LM and then we got okay. So this is one of the feature that they are showing, that we can ask to any chat now. So let's just make it forward what they are doing. They are asking to Canva as well. So Canva, can they create slides as well? So maybe I will look for some tutorials on YouTube, like how can we look. One of the thing that I think that it could be only used with ChatGPT 5, not with the free version, I think. So you can talk to any app. So the first point is this, the other is like we can build an app inside ChatGPT. So Zillow, this is a startup I think. So backup, ये slides बना दी कैनवा ने. So this is cool. Bye. Okay.
Thanks, Lexi. That was great. It's very hard to type and talk in front of a bunch of people at the same time, so you did very well. We're excited for you to try out the apps that you saw in the demos, along with a few more from these launch partners. They'll be available in ChatGPT today, and this is just the beginning. We're going to roll out more apps from partners in the weeks ahead. For developers, the Apps SDK is available in preview to start building with today. Our goal is to get this in your hands early, hear your feedback, build it together with you. And then later this year, developers will be able to submit apps for review and publication. We'll also release a directory that users can browse, in addition to discovery and conversation. Any apps that meet the standards provided in our developer guidelines will be eligible to be listed. Apps that meet higher standards for design and functionality will get featured more prominently, included in the directory and suggested as apps and conversations. We published a draft of the developer guidelines along with the apps SDK so you'll know what to expect, and we'll share more in monetization from apps soon. We'd also love your feedback about what you'd want. This should be an exciting new chapter for developers and for ChatGPT users. So that was apps, and we hope everyone loves it. Thank you. So next we want to talk about building agents and how we're going to make this simpler and more effective. AI has moved in the last couple of years from systems that you can ask anything to systems that you can ask to do anything for you. And we're starting to see this through agents, software that can take on tasks with context, rules, and trust. But for all the excitement around agents and all the potential, very few are actually making it into production and into major use. It's hard to know where to start, what frameworks to use, and there's a lot of work. There's orchestration, eval loops, connecting tools, building a good UI, and each of these layers adds a lot of complexity before you know what's really going to work. Clearly, there's a ton of energy, and the opportunity is very real. So we've talked to thousands of teams, many of them in this room, who are building agents.
These are मतलब इतने सारे एजेंट है देखो शेड्यूलिंग एजेंट हो गया सेल प्रोस्पेक्टिंग एजेंट मार्केटिंग कैंपेनिंग एजेंट डेटा एंट्री ऑटोमेशन नॉलेज बेस एजेंट प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट बट ये सारे बहुत मतलब ये प्रोफेशनल वगैरह ज़्यादा यूज़ करते होंगे एज वी आर डूइंग लाइक हमको किस टाइप का एजेंट चाहिए हमको इस टाइप का एजेंट चाहिए जो हर सुबह उठ के बता दे कि ये तुम्हारा शेड्यूल है आज तुमको ये पढ़ना चाहिए जो हमारे लिए वीडियो देख के आजा समराइज़ कर दे चीज़ें उसके बाद क्वेश्चन पूछ ले हमसे फिर वो लगातार ब्राउज़ करते रहे चैट यूट्यूब को या फिर जब भी हम उसको अलाउ करें कि ब्राउज़ कर पाओ तुम यूट्यूब को और फिर देख पाए कि दिस इज़ द बेस्ट वीडियो फॉर यू यू शुड वॉच इट फॉर योर शेड्यूल और फिर फ्यूचर चीज़ों के लिए तो इस टाइप के कुछ एजेंट जो रियली हेल्पफुल हो बाकी ये तो ज़्यादा हमारे लिए तो हेल्पफुल नहीं है मतलब शेड्यूलिंग एजेंट क्या शेड्यूल करना है हमको मतलब
agents to reimagine how work is done. And we've asked what we can do to make agents much easier to build. So today we're going to launch something to help with that. The goal here is something for every builder that wants to go from idea to agent faster and easier. So we're excited to introduce a new thing called AgentKit. AgentKit is a complete set of building blocks available on the OpenAI platform designed to help you take agents from prototype to production. It is everything you need to build, deploy, and optimize agentic workflows with way less friction. Our hope is that everyone from individual developers to large enterprises will get a lot of value from this. And we'll talk about a few of the core capabilities now. So the first one is Agent Builder. This is a canvas to build agents. It's a fast visual way to design the logic steps, test the flows, and ship ideas. It's built on top of the responses API that hundreds of thousands of developers already use. So most of you who have used our platform before should be familiar with the foundation. The second thing is ChatKit. We've heard this one loud and clear, and we're making it easy to bring great chat experiences right into your own apps. You get a simple, embeddable chat interface that you can make your own. You can bring your own brand, your own workflows, whatever makes your own product unique. And you can see in the video here how chat can work across each agent node and call on tools to form the best response. And then finally, evals for agents. We're shipping new features dedicated to measuring the performance of agents. You get trace grading to help you understand agent decisions step by step. You get data sets, so you can assess individual agent nodes. You get automated prompt optimization. And you can even now run evals on external models directly from the OpenAI platform. This is all the stuff that we wished we had when we were trying to build our first agents. And of course, agents need access to data. So with OpenAI's connector registry, you can securely connect agents to your internal tools and third-party systems through an admin control panel, while keeping everything safe and under your control. So let's look at a couple of examples. Albertsons runs over 2,000 grocery stores across the US. More than 37 million people shop there each week. And each store is like its own little economy. Managers have to make all these constant decisions, tweaking this promotion or that product mix, resetting the displays, working with a bunch of vendors. It's like a lot of stuff. So Albertsons built an agent using AgentKit. So now imagine a situation where sales are unexpectedly down for ice cream, down 32%. Before this would have kicked off a long process of reporting. There'd be spreadsheets and meetings, a lot of panic, they sell a lot of ice cream, very important to them. Now an associate can just ask the agent what's going on. The agent will look at the full context of everything it can discover, seasonality, historical trends, external factors, and it'll give a recommendation. Maybe it's time to adjust the display or to run a local ad. So let's take a look at another agent. HubSpot is a customer platform used by hundreds of thousands of organizations around the world. And they used AgentKit to improve the responses of Breeze, their AI tool, using the custom responses widget. So in this example, a HubSpot customer called Luma Plants gets a question about why a plant is not doing so well in Arizona. It then uses the Breeze assistant to search its own knowledge base, look up local treatments for the state's low humidity, pulls in policy details, and puts everything together. It then offers multiple ideas and a recommendation. So this is how we imagine intelligence working across many different sources, all operating together to deliver smart, useful answers to customers. And it's a great example of the thing that you can build with AgentKit. We have a bunch of great agent launch partners that have already scaled agents using AgentKit. And it's available to everyone starting today. So let's do a live demo, and I will pass it off to Christina.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina, and I work on the team building AgentKit. Today, I want to show you how AgentKit helps developers create agents faster than ever before. So you may have already seen our DevDay website. It's the site here that all of you have access to and has everything about today's schedule. But right now, it's just a static page. What if it could actually help you navigate the day and point you to the sessions that are most relevant to you? we're OpenAI. We need to have AI in our DevDay website. So that's what we're going to build together, an agent powered by AgentKit deployed right here inside the site. And to make this interesting, I'm going to give myself 8 minutes to build and ship an agent right here in front of you. You just heard how hard it is to build an agent, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge, and I'm going to start the clock now to keep me honest. We have a clock for building agents ourselves. So here on the left, we've already extracted the common building blocks. For example, tools like file search and MCP, guardrails, human in the loop, and other logical nodes. Today, I'm planning on building a workflow that uses 2 specialized agents. The first will be a sessions agent, which will return information about the schedule, and the second will be a more generic DevDay information agent. So I'm starting off with a categorizing agent to just help route and categorize the type of message coming in, whether it's asking about a specific session or something more generic. And then I've added in an if-else node to route behavior based on that classifier. Next, I'll create a session agent. Here, I'll drag and drop an agent node. I'll call this session agent. I'll give it the context about kind of grabbing information about a session. And then I can add in various tools here. Today, I already have a doc with all the information about sessions. I'll simply drop that in. Let's call this sessions and attach it. So this agent now has all the information needed to answer my questions. But showing the schedule should also be fun and visually interesting, not just plain text. So I'll also create a widget for them. I'll head over to our widget builder. Here, I can create a widget from scratch. I can browse the gallery to learn about other widgets and reuse them. But for today, I've actually already designed a widget for this use case. In this case, it's an onboarding session widget for Froj, one of our DevDay friends that you'll see around the menu, who's holding a one-to-one onboarding session in Golden Gate Park. So we can simply download this and then head back over to our agent and just attach it in as, I don't think I clicked download, so let me go back and actually click the button. Download. There we go. Great. So head over and attach it as an output format for the sessions agent that we just created. Drop that in. We can preview it to make sure we got it in the right widget, and everything looks ready to go. So this session agent is now done. Next, I'll create a general DevDay agent. So once again, I'll drag in an agent node. Let's call this the DevDay agent. We'll once again give it some context about what it's doing, and we'll also make it speak in the style of Froj just to make it really on brand for the day. We'll add in a file once again, so we have a file with all of the information about the day. Call this DevDay. Attach it. This agent is ready to go as well, and we'll attach that here. Now, it looks like I have a couple more minutes, so let's add in some additional security with one of the pre-built guardrails. So one of the most important things when building agents is being able to trust them, and guardrails help you have that confidence, protecting against hallucinations, adding moderation, blocking PII. In this case, we already have a couple pre-built guardrails. I'll turn one on for PII, and then I'll just include name as well so I can easily verify its behavior. I'll attach this into the beginning of the workflow to make sure Froj is really protected against PII, and then I'll add in
I read about guardrail somewhere, but वहाँ पे जो guardrail था उसमें ऐसा था कि जैसे क्रेडिट कार्ड वगैरह डिटेल आप डालोगे या पूछोगे तो वो सारी चीज़ें प्रोवाइड नहीं करता था, LLM के बीच में रहता था. तो वो मैंने पढ़ा था गार्डरेल शायद ये शायद कुछ एथिकल चीज़ें इसमें और अभी ये कह रही कि हेलुसिनेशन वगैरह से बचाता है, सो दैट यू कैन ट्रस्ट AI agent more.
Additional agent to handle cases when this information is often. So again, I'll make it speak in the style of Froj to stay consistent, and I'll remind it that it can help questions that contain sensitive information and remove kind of the context. Great, so I think this workflow is ready to go. I can also configure output to determine what shows up to the end user. In this case, I can also turn off file search sources if that is kind of more internal. And I think that's it. Let's test it out. I can preview this directly from our agent builder. So here I can ask what session to attend to learn about building agents. And I can see this message moving its way through that workflow we just created, checking guardrails, categorizing intent, pulling information from the file of sessions that I just added in, finding the right session, using the widget that I added, and determining, orchestrating agents at scale at 11:15 with James and Rohan is like the best session for me to go to learn more about this. And then I see a couple of Reddits because this is actually Froj talking to me and riveting at me. So, okay, I think this agent looks good. Need to watch the time. So we just built a few specialized agents using tools. We added in guardrails. We customized them using some widgets, and we also tested out the workflow in preview. The one thing we haven't yet done is a full set of evals. And we can also do that directly from the agent builder to make sure that everything behaves exactly as expected before going live. But right now I've got a giant clock chasing me and DevDay's waiting, so let's publish this. Hit publish here. Let's call this ask Froj. Hit publish.
Is creating agent आगे वाला देखते हैं.
So we looked at AI apps, agents, but now let's shift to one more thing that's just as important, how we write software. One of the most exciting things happening with AI is that we're entering a new era that changes how software gets written. Anyone with an idea can build apps for themselves, their families, or their communities. And before we talk about codecs, we want to show you a few examples. In Japan, an 89-year-old retiree taught himself to code with help of ChatGPT. He's now built 11 iPhone apps for elderly users. He's turning a lifetime of wisdom into tools that help others live more independently. In Spain, Pau Garcia and members of domestic data streamers are helping people reconnect with memories using ChatGPT, image generation, and Sora. At ASU, med students need a better way to practice the kinds of difficult human conversations they'll have with doctors. So they built a virtual patient app with our models, where they can try, fail, and get better before they step into a real exam room. And at Versailles in France, visitors can now walk the palace and talk to it. They built an experience where you have a live discussion with art and sculptures with our real-time API. History becomes a conversation. It's awesome to see what people are building, and this is why we're so excited to give developers even more tools to build faster. So, earlier this year, we launched a research preview of Codex, OpenAI's software engineering agent, built to work alongside developers and speed up how software gets created. Since then, Codex has become very loved and grown into a much more capable collaborator. It works everywhere you code now, your IDE, the terminal, GitHub, and in the cloud. Your ChatGPT account connects everything so you can move your work seamlessly between your tools. We've released a ton of new features for Codex, and it now runs on the new GPT-5 Codex model, a version of GPT-5 purposely trained for Codex and agentic coding. This model is better at tasks like code refactoring and code review, and it can dynamically adjust its thinking time for the complexity of the task. Developers love this new model, and the Codex usage has gone up really fast. One of our key metrics for looking at this is daily messages, the number of tasks and conversations that developers have with Codex each day. Since early August, daily messages are up 10x across Codex. And this rapid usage has also helped GPT-5 Codex become one of our fastest growing models ever. Since its release, we have served over 40 trillion tokens from the model. Internally, at this point, Codex is everywhere we build. Almost all new code written at OpenAI today is written by Codex users. Our engineers that use Codex complete 70% more pull requests each week, and nearly every OpenAI PR goes through a Codex review. And from that, people get more depth than they'd expect, even from a very senior engineer. Starting today, Codex is officially out of research preview and into GA. Thank you. And while Codex already has a lot of traction with individual developers, today we're introducing a new set of features to make Codex more helpful for engineering teams. First, we have a Slack integration. This has been very much requested, so that you can ask Codex to write code or answer questions directly from team conversations in Slack. Second, a new Codex SDK, so that you can extend and automate Codex in your team's own workflows. And third, new admin tools and reporting, including environment controls, monitoring, analytics dashboards, and more, so that enterprises can better manage Codex. Expect to see a lot more Codex improvements coming soon. One of the things that's been really inspiring to us is to see the breadth of people using Codex, from developers building side projects on weekends to high-growth startups to big global enterprises. Cisco rolled out Codex across its entire engineering org. They're now able to get through code reviews 50% faster and have reduced the average project timeline from weeks to days. So for our next demo, we want to show you something fun. We're going to show you how you can use the new Codex and our APIs to turn anything around you into workable software. And for that, please welcome Ramon to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Last year, we built an iPhone app from scratch, and we even programmed a mini drone live on stage using O1, our first reasoning model. It was kind of vibe coding before we even had a name for it, frankly. But the progress since has been incredible. Codex is now a teammate that understands your context, it works alongside you, and you can reliably take on work for your team. And we thought about how do we best show you all of the cool things that Codex can now do. We had a lot of ideas. But one that we kind of kept coming back to is what about building something that we could all experience and see together here in this room right now? So that's our challenge. If you look up here, some of you might notice a camera that's mounting above the stage, and I thought maybe we could start there. And so earlier, I asked Codex CLI to create a very simple control panel interface with a very simple interface. The camera feed on the left, some buttons on the right, and if we can bring my laptop on screen, you'll see what Codex came up with. Initially, it did it really well, but then I also added the Figma branding from the DevDay event so we could pull the exact colors and components to actually render it perfectly matching our design. All right, so that's our place to get started. Now, I haven't written a single line of code, but let's dive in and see what we can do on top of that. Now, switching over here to, we're going to skip this version. Skipping over here to my terminal, which wanted to update, I'm sure you can see that we have Codex CLI. It's logged in with my ChatGPT account, and it's powered by GPT-5 Codex, our net new model that I mentioned. Now, let's start by asking this question that I'm sure many of you have not asked a coding agent before. How to control a Sony FR7 camera in Node? And honestly, I did not know how to get started. I saw there was a C++ SDK, and I thought maybe Codex would want to use that and turn it into JavaScript. But then it had a much better idea than that. I realized that there's a vSCAP protocol apparently to control these cameras. So, as you can see, Codex can respond pretty fast for questions like this. And this all seemed promising to me. So basically, I went ahead and I typed this script over to Codex to completely scaffold an integration using the vSCAP protocol and wire it up to that control panel.
From the API. It's available to all developers, and we hope you enjoy.
So last is API from this. Stop the recording now. So let me give you the summary what I'm thinking about. So one of the thing is कि मैं सोच रहा था कि शायद AI एजेंट का यूज़ हमको इतना नहीं करना चाहिए, बट अब मेरे को लग रहा है कि AI एजेंट का यूज़ करके हम जो भी मेरे पास आइडिया आ रहा है उसको मैं फास्टर तरीके से बना सकता हूँ. जो ऐप बनाने में शायद मेरे को लगते कई दिन लग जाते हैं, वो अब मैं वाइब कोडिंग से बहुत कम टाइम पे बना सकता हूँ. बट मेरे को पता होना चाहिए कि कौन सी एप्लीकेशन कैसे बन रही है, कोड क्या हो रहा है, सारी चीज़ें. सो AI एजेंट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट या मतलब बहुत सारे एप्लीकेशन क्रिएट कर सकते हो बहुत कम टाइम पे. इससे बेटर और क्या हो सकता है. और दूसरी चीज़ ये कि कोडेक्स AI एजेंट वाली चीज़ इन्होंने ले आई है. दूसरी चीज़ इन्होंने एजेंट किट एजेंट बिल्ड करने के लिए, तो सिमिलर टू एन मे बी बेटर, क्योंकि वो बहुत समय से है। फिर एक तो एस डी के वाला लिया है ऐप डेवलपमेंट वगैरह के लिए। सो एंड टॉकिंग टू एन एप्लीकेशन जो एक फीचर लेके आया, वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत प्यारा था। ओके, दैट्स इट फॉर द वीडियो।